Hey y'all, and welcome to another episode of the Anchored Identity Podcast. And today we have friends, okay? So today we're gonna have a nice topic, girl time. We were all reading about the woman at the well, and we got some questions, and we got some comments. And for me, I think we need to have her back because she got some labels slapped on her, at least from the conversations I've had. So I'm super excited about this. And when we come into these conversations, we're gonna ask a bunch of questions: when, where, how, what, who. We're not really trying to add our own 2 cents to the Bible, but we want to put ourselves in the person's shoes. So that's what we're here to do. So who do I have with me today? I have Miss Skylar. Welcome to the podcast.
Hi.
I have Miss Daya. Welcome. And I also have Miss Alexa.
Hello, everyone.
So, of course, thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys. I'm super happy for having you guys. And just to break up the ice, what song, what worship song has you in tears or in your emotions every time you hear it, if you have one? Anybody?
I guess for me is For My Good from Maverick City. I feel that when I was going through a hard season and it was hard to get up in the mornings and go throughout my day, it would give me hope and remind me that everything will be fine.
Yeah.
So I feel every time I hear that song, it
What's
reminds
the name of it
me
again?
of For My Good.
For My Good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What about you, Daya?
I really like the song Transfiguration by Hillsong Worship. It just brings me to tears because of the beauty of God that it speaks about. And it can be hard for me to receive. And that song just reminds me of that posture of being open to receiving. Yeah.
Mine is The Story I'll Tell by Maverick City.
Oh, a lot of Maverick City Hillsong.
Yes. Okay. It's very emotional for me just because reminding myself that all of the things that I've been through, I can one day share my testimony to help other women of how I've literally seen God work in my life. I would not be here today without knowing God.
Yeah.
And how he's changed my life forever. So.
I love it.
Yeah.
I think so. For mine is Yeshua.
Okay.
I don't know who the original writer is or whatnot, but for some reason it just blocks out everything that's happening, and then it's just meditate on the name. I don't know what it is, but everything goes away, and it feels like I'm just in the presence of him. So just how there's angels that surround the throne and they're always saying holy, holy, holy.
Yes.
So that's how it feels for me with Yeshua. So I'm just saying his name over and over. It's a worship for me. So
the Holy Spirit is sitting with you.
Yeah. And it's just me saying the name over and over. And I noticed, at Heart Rev, boy, we will repeat a phrase. We will repeat a phrase for a good 10 minutes. But if you've noticed, it's the more you say it starts to change something. At least for me.
Yeah. Or the more you believe it.
Yeah.
The more you say something, the more you believe something. So, yeah.
And that's what meditation is.
Yeah.
I know some people, I'm not saying to do it in yoga or other religions or whatever else, but they do a lot of meditation. And the Bible tells us to meditate on the word. So a bunch of chanting, that does help you with your belief because you're saying it over and over and over again. So I would know that because I've definitely dove into a lot of things, but that's what we do. So I love music. I've noticed that music definitely connects me to the word. I love reading, but just something about the words and the lyrics and the music and then all that, it definitely puts me into worship. So yeah. But thanks for answering. And like I said, today we're talking about the woman at the well. I definitely noticed some identity crises in her. And Skylar, I remember you said one day at church that she didn't have a name.
Yeah. I think we were talking about it because I was questioning on why a lot of women in the Bible are mentioned, but they're not mentioned by name.
Yeah. I know she's one. I know the woman with the issue of blood is one. That's like the ones that stick out to me.
Yeah.
And there's other ones. I think maybe the reason is like it's more important about what she did and what her message was than her name.
Yeah.
But I think that's like an identity thing because we don't know her name, you know? So, but let y'all know. So we're coming out of John chapter 4, verse 1 through 28. That's about the woman at the well. So what else came up for you guys? Because I can talk all day, but I want to hear from y'all. Like, let's get in the juicy. What came up? What were some questions? What were some like ideas? And we ain't got to necessarily go like verse by verse, but whatever came up.
So for me, I guess it's not really a question, but for me, diving into the history and the backstory of the Samaritan woman helped because I didn't know that the Jews saw them as impure because they were half Jew. And so I guess that really helped with the story of why Jesus decided to go through this city and other Jews had avoided it.
Yeah. Do you know why she is half Jew or why that's the case?
Yeah, I think I was saw it that the mixed race was because the Jews had gotten like kicked out of a certain city and they intermarried with foreigners.
So this woman and Jesus are actually cousins. They're all cousins.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Okay, so there's 12 tribes of Israel. And later on, she says about Jacob. She speaks about Jacob digging the well.
Yes.
So Jacob is Israel. They're the same person.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, and this is in Genesis. So when Jacob wrestles with God, and then he like snapped his hip and like he out here limping now. But so he was like, bless me. So he ended up changing his name to Israel. But then he had 12 kids, like 12 sons. And so every son, there's a tribe. And so the Samaritans actually come from the tribe of Joseph.
Yeah, because it was Joseph's well.
No, it was Jacob's well.
Jacob's well.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Joseph is Jacob's son. Yeah. So out of all the 12, the Samaritans came from Joseph. What happened is, Joshua, after they went to the Canaan land, the promised land,
yes,
they started separating people in different places and they had their area. But throughout history, they started intermingling with other foreign countries and other religions and other guys. And then they end up separating. So even the Baal, the big calf or whatever. No. Not Baal. So you got Baal is another god. Ahab ended up bringing this god to the country. So anyway, make a long story short, because I'm about to get all the way into it. They separated because of their false gods and them intermingling with other people. And then that's where all they were like, oh, you guys are less than us because you don't believe in God anymore. So, yeah. So, okay. I feel like you have a question, like something is going on.
No, it's the wheels are turning for sure because it did talk about in one of the verses that she was saying, let's see. I can see that you are a prophet. Our ancestors worshipped on this mountain, but you Jews claim that the place where we must worship is in Jerusalem. And that kind of like puts the backstory. That was verse 19 through 21 or 20. The background, because in my head I was like, okay, so they not worshiping Jesus, like they were worshiping a false god. And that kind of put it in perspective of, like, that's why my wheels were turning, because I was like, it was like connecting the dots basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
But no, the background is huge. Because even when she like, did y'all notice how she came up to him? Or, so now when he's talking to her, it kind of seems like she has like an attitude. Like, you know, why would you ask me for water? Or like, because if anything, I can see her like being afraid to even walk up to him because he is a Jew.
Yes.
And because they thought that it was like a racism. Like, it was racism right then and there, you know, like, I don't like y'all, but we cousins at the same time. Like, maybe way distant cousins, but we're cousins, you know what I'm saying? So I can see that her, like, she was being afraid to even walk up to him. But yeah.
Something that did catch my attention. I like dove into it, and then I also liked to hear like what pastors and what other people also had to say on this specific story. But there's a point that, you know, this woman was here like during, it was like high peak, like hot during the day, right? Where you wouldn't expect to like find anybody else. So I think just her walking there, like expecting to not see anyone, not like run into anybody, like avoiding, and landing, you know, by Jesus, that could be intimidating. So that caught my attention and also made me relate to her a little bit, because, you know, times when, you know, there's a culture, you feel shame, you feel, you know, whatnot, which I know we'll talk more about.
We'll talk about it now, girl. Go ahead.
But I do tend to like avoid, right? And I don't want to like be seen. I don't want to be around anybody. So I think that was her moment where she, you know, wanted to be, you know, by herself, just get, you know, the water that she needed. But Jesus met her there. And, you know, he's all knowing. He knew exactly what he was doing. But I can relate to that, you know, Jesus meeting me and meeting us when we don't want to even meet like with ourselves. So just being very avoidant, that caught my attention.
I like that. He's like, I don't even want to talk to you right now. It's like, yo, that happens. I be asleep, like knocked out, and then all of a sudden, you know, wake up and like, why am I awake? Like, oh, we gotta talk. Like, no, we had all day to talk. Why we gotta talk now? I'm trying to sleep. Like,
no, but going off of what you said, I realized that as well, because most of the women would go in the morning and the evening because it was in groups because it was cooler. But as I kept reading, as like what you said, avoiding, she was avoiding everyone who knew her reputation. She kind of just wanted to be alone, go get her water and call it a day. She didn't want to run into anybody who knew her reputation. And I can relate that to that as well. Like things that I've done in the past, friends that I don't have anymore, I'm like they know my business. Like I don't want to talk about it, you know? So I guess I can definitely relate to that as well.
Because even shows that her identity, she's isolated.
Yes.
She's isolated. She's alone. Even like in her own family, the community, they're all family. And it's kind of weird, but they're all family in a sense. So now she's by herself. She's alone. It's hot as heck out there. Like, oh my gosh. And like you said, she's walking to this well and this man is there. It's like, who you be? Like, why are you over here, you know? I think I also noticed, so one, she doesn't have a name. That's an identity situation because everyone else gave her a name. And some of the names they gave her, you know, she's an adulteress. She's a harlot. She out here in these streets. And even we can even say like she's unclean because of her status, because of what she's doing and who she's with. So it makes sense why the other women wouldn't fellowship with her.
Yeah.
Because of her sin or because of the situation that she's in. That makes sense. But if we keep reading, well, even in this culture or this in the history of it, later on, I felt like Jesus was being petty.
He definitely was. I know exactly what you're talking about. He was definitely being petty.
He was like, "Go get your husband."
Yes.
Okay,
knowing dang well she did not have no husband.
Yes. Yes. Okay, so I have 2 Bibles, and I'll let y'all know. Okay, this is my King James Version. we have been through a lot, okay? This is the Bible. It's wrote in. I got little pictures. I got like highlights and everything, right? And I can like easily be like, you know what? I forgot that scripture, but I remember highlighting it, and it's right here. And this Bible, we ain't there yet. This is
Okay, we gonna get there.
We
We
gonna
gonna
get
get her broke in.
so. This is King James, but I know it's a lot of arts, thous, wilts, and whatever else. So I got this one to like read it to make more sense. So if y'all see me like going back and forth, that's the reason why. That's the reason why. But I remember in here when he was like, oh, I want this water, because he kept saying this water, you won't never thirst, da 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 da. And then he was like, oh, go get your husband. And then she immediately was like, I don't have a husband. And he's like, oh, I know you don't. Wait a minute, calm down.
Yeah. He was like, I know you don't. In fact, you've had 5 before the man with. Now, Jesus was definitely being petty with that because he knew her business.
Yeah.
He did not have to put it out like that.
But then if you look at it a second time, I think because one, it was looked down upon or not a good thing for women to be alone with men, especially if you're not married or you're not a close relative. So I can see him asking like, oh, get your husband was like a respect thing to her. I can see that maybe.
Okay.
But I could also see it being a segue into why we're really here,
Yeah.
like we're gonna get into this tea.
Yep.
Yeah. So now he asked, where's your husband? She says, I don't have one. But it made sense because now she has 5. But at that time, they were like, divorce was a thing under the rule of Moses. And so husbands couldn't like divorce their wives for anything. So now it changed my heart about her when I kept reading her story, because at that time, it's not that she was divorcing these men. It was the men were divorcing her. And they could divorce for any reason. If you burnt my food, I don't like how you put the makeup on. I don't like how you did. They can like divorce for any reason.
Okay.
So it's kind of like she's a victim in a situation. Well, then kind of like it is. She is a victim in a situation.
But she can't really like control or have any say in it.
Huh?
Like, I feel like she was stuck in a situation where she didn't have a say.
Yeah.
Or couldn't control.
Mm-hmm. And so now that she's divorced, and so many times her worth is gone. Like
She's tainted.
She's tainted. Yeah. It's like if you 30 years old, ain't had no kids, and you ain't been married, they be like, don't touch her. Okay, just Or, women, they be like, oh, you have kids, you've been married, you divorced, and then you're a single woman, and then it's like, well, I don't really want to, like, deal with her, Or any other reasons of why people don't want to deal with you. They think that something's wrong with you now because of your situation, which is so mean and not fair at all. But
Well, I feel like almost every woman can probably relate to that in some type of way of feeling tainted. So feeling as though maybe we're not enough for this person, but this is a perfect example of her feeling tainted and not enough, but Jesus is like, no, you are enough. Like, he says, come as you are, don't come perfect.
yeah.
So this is a perfect example for that, I feel like.
Yeah.
It also got me thinking, like, something I noticed too was, it was like a gentle conviction. And I like what you said, Bree, that he was like, in a way, like respectful. And it speaks on Jesus's character, but it was like a slight conviction. And then he went full in. That's right. Like, you've had 5. And the one that you're with right now, not your husband.
Yeah.
So it just, like, I also relate to that because for me, like, and God does this, but he gently, like, convicts, like, out of love. And that also, like, prepares, like, for me, it prepared my heart, to hear, like, the harsh, reality of, the past. And it was like confronting that sin, whether she was a victim, whether she was, whatnot, it was sinful, right? And so it's confronting it to be able to like heal it. So he first had to, bring it up. Let's confront it. And then from her, there was that openness to like receive what he had to offer. Like, what is this water that you're talking
but
about?
Do we think it's a sin for her though?
Wait, what was a sin?
Yeah, like I hear what you're saying, but I'm wondering if she didn't have a choice to be divorced and the man that she's with right now, that's not her husband, but I wonder, there could be some sin in that, but I wonder, like, is she with this man because without it's like Naomi, remember Ruth and Naomi? So when Naomi's husband died and her son had died, she had to go back to her home because without a man they were not covered. They didn't have jobs, they didn't have money, they didn't have status. So it's like, I don't have any protection. So now I'm wondering, because she's been divorced, did she get married over and over and over again for those things? And now that she's with this man, is it that, and the Bible doesn't go into details, but is it she's with this man because of the things that she needs? Unfortunately, no one else will marry her because of the other 5 that she's had. You know what I mean? So I'm wondering, like, could there be a sin, something in it? Maybe. But on the other side, I'm thinking it might not be sin. It just could be her situation. Is that good? You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
Yeah. So maybe like either or. We weren't there. I don't know, but that's what I'm getting from it too.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Comma, however, I
love it. Comma, however. Come on.
Sorry.
Yeah,
comma,
no.
However.
Yeah.
I mean, back in this biblical time, when someone was to say that this is your husband, it's because you had sexual relations with them. Because back then, women didn't have sex before marriage. So I feel like maybe those 5 before the guy that she's with wasn't her actual husband. She just had sexual relations with them. But Jesus, being the respectful man that he is, was like, your 5 husbands before, because it definitely says that she's laying with a man now that's not her husband.
Did it say that she's laying with him?
Like, and the man you have now is not your husband, is what it says. I feel like that's insinuating that she's laying with him, because he says the man you have now.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm thinking...
That's what I got from it.
Yeah.
So I think she is sinning, which we all sin, but that's what I got from it.
I see both. So maybe there could be some sin in here because you're not married to him or whatever else. But I also see the other side too. Because if the men left her...
She didn't have a choice.
She didn't have a choice but to go somewhere else, you know?
Yeah. I definitely see both sides for sure.
And this is good because I feel like we can now see different perspectives, and we ask questions that the Bible don't necessarily give us all answers for, but we can now take each one and get a revelation from it. Because if she is out here in these streets and doing things that she shouldn't be doing, then okay, maybe you did deserve some of the labels that the town gave you. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But yeah, what else did we get?
I actually have one more thing to add to that. That came to mind. And it's just like, sin is sin.
Yeah.
Like, regardless of how we put it, like, sin is sin. And so what was coming to mind as well was that she, even, in our pain, when we, when we're broken, right? Like, that's what leads us into sin, when we lack, the living water, when we lack God. And so although, she was broken, and, maybe that led down, some sinful behavior, it's not to, again, like, condemn her for it. Jesus met her where she was at, but that's what comes to mind. I'm thinking, like, sin is sin. And at the end of the day, it is part of that testimony that led her to to God, and then to be such like a big character in the Bible that brought others to Christ. Was kind of the last.
But yeah, let's get in that though, because even you had something. Because even with all of that she's going through, she's the first person publicly that he confesses that he's the Messiah.
Yes.
Like, and a woman.
Yes.
Like the apostles knew, but
Yes.
they were supposed to know. But publicly, like, this is his first act to go into his ministry. Like, that one blew my mind, because everyone be like, women shouldn't preach and da 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 da, and they have different scriptures. And there was like one time that was an issue for me, but then I went on a deep dive and I like studied different things and so forth. And so I'm like, no, she was the first person, and she went out here and took off running to tell everybody else. And then later on, in verse 39 and like 39 through 45, she got people coming to the altar.
Oh, yes.
So she went and told these people like, oh man, I met someone, he's the Messiah. He told me things about me that he would have not known. And he, like you said, he met me where I was at. And I'm pretty sure she has a good testimony, because for her to be at the identity of, woe is me, I'm isolated, no one loves me, I'm with a man who don't even probably want to be with me, I've had 5 husbands and blah 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 blah, and now it's a whole Jew who they call us dogs and so forth and so on. But now this is the actual Messiah that is thinking I'm so worthy to talk to me and then tell me who he is. Like, something had to change, right? But now these people come and they're like, oh, we believe you, but now we really believe you because of who we just came in contact with. So that right there, like, really is a big deal. Even in today's society, all the racism, all the different things that's going on, the fact that Jesus announced to the race that the Jews didn't like publicly first, like, this is who I am, it speaks volumes.
And a woman.
If you gotta stay on that part, woman.
A woman.
A woman.
Women weren't viewed as much back then. I mean, some people don't even view us as much today, but back then it was way worse. So for him to talk to her as not a full Jew and a woman, I feel like that definitely speaks volume.
Yeah. So just imagine, like, her identity now. It's like,
Yeah, I feel like in the end, like, he kind of rebranded or like changed like her identity. Like, I feel like he was not there to argue with her about like her past and like what she had done.
yeah.
But in the end, like, he was there to like win her soul and like change her identity into, like, the way I see it was like, maybe she was seeking, I mean, we don't know the full details about like the past of like the men that she was with, but maybe she was seeking comfort and like validation from them. But like in Jesus meeting her where she was at, like, he showed her that like all you need is like my living water, and all you need is like me to give you comfort. So I feel like in the end, he just changed her like identity into a whole new
Yeah.
thing.
Absolutely.
Have you guys ever found yourselves trying to fill the void with other things? Yeah, if you are open to share, I would love to hear. Like, what are other things that you've used outside of God to fill the void? I'll start. One, I used to fill things up with like shopping. Shopping was not necessarily fashion stuff, because I need help with that. But it'd be like just be, if I'm feeling bad, like, let's just go buy something. And that instant gratification filled me with love and joy and whatever else, like, you know. But then it never lasted, because it was like a temporary high. And then I had to go back out and get something else. And it's like, oh, this is so great, but it never lasted. I think another thing would be men. Like, I used to fill the void with men because I had the void from not having my dad growing up. And so I was on a whole spectrum. Okay, either I hated men or I couldn't live without men. So I was like up and down the spectrum. So I used relationships to fill the void. But every time the relationship would start, it would be amazing, and then it'd be like you get the ick. I don't like him no more. You know. Next. Yo, girl, I have stories. Like I'm out here like with little black book and everything. Like what's going on with me? Okay, but no, it never lasted though. And then I think another thing I used was different religions. So like dive in different religions and like, oh, this seems good or this seems good and this seems good, but nothing really.
It didn't stick.
It was only like for a few minutes. And alcohol. It was great for a while, but then it didn't go very well afterwards. So
because I feel like in the end, it's like you're filling the void with all these things, but like you're going to stop eventually and you're still going to be left with the same emptiness and like loneliness because you've been avoiding it and you've been avoiding it into actually seeking relationship with God.
Yeah.
Because you're using all alcohol and relationships and like keeping yourself busy. And in the end, you're stuck in the same place where you started.
They're all counterfeits. So it reminds me of when Jesus, he had just got baptized, right? And then here comes Satan. Like Jesus out here fasting. He came when he was hungry, okay? Hungry, tired.
Because he's gonna come when you're at your lowest.
Yeah.
For sure. And then that's when that character development kind of kicks in. And
You and this character development.
I'm telling you,
yeah,
girl,
she say that all the time. It builds character.
I'm telling you, it does. Jesus will build your character and you don't even know it.
Yeah.
Like the things that you used to do, you don't do anymore. You're like for me, mine was men, and then mine was also like going to the club. I wanted to dance. I wanted to do this, but now, girl, I'm in bed by 8 o'clock. Like, who going to the club? Like, what?
Yeah.
But definitely men was filling a void for me as well. We just talked about this before.
Yeah.
But it was like you said, like feeling that loneliness, feeling that emptiness, not having your dad growing up. From childhood, not having that man in your life. And then you're trying to fill this void with this man, and then you get the ick and you're like, okay, next. And then you fill it with this one, and then it brings you further away from Christ each time. And I really had to sit alone with Jesus in order to understand that and build my character of who I am in Christ. So that was an identity crisis for me, definitely, but character.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Okay. So you said finally.
Don't make me cry.
I'm sorry. You said finally it got to the point where you had to like sit with Christ. So what was
that turning point?
Yeah, that like, this is it. I have to go now, you know?
Yeah. I was in a 2.5-year relationship. Very emotionally abusive. And then it got to where I was physically abusive to myself. I wasn't eating. I felt depressed. Like I was at my lowest point, crying on the floor when God came to me and was like, child, like, this is not what I have planned for you.
Yeah.
Like, this is not the life that I had planned for you millions of years ago, because he knows us before we're born.
Yeah.
And at that point, I just like, I snapped out of it. I was like, this is not who I want to be. This is not who I want to be with. And I don't want to feel like this anymore. Because I grew up in the church, but then I got away from it. And that was my like snapping point of just realizing that this is not who Jesus wanted me to be this entire time. And I kind of like ventured off of the path, and it was like his way of like pulling me back when I was literally at my lowest.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing. Okay, so I think Lucio, the producer, is walking around. I think we're almost at that time. But this is super good, though. I think I definitely had so many other notes, but I really... You know how long he walked? You know how long it is from Galilee to Samaria?
I was looking at it. My Bible has a little map we were talking about. It has a map, and I was looking at it, and I was like, child, that's a long walk.
30 to 40 miles of not bringing no cars, you know.
Nothing, just
walking.
Just walking.
Boy, you in
and
good
then
shape.
It talked about how his disciples were in town getting food.
Yeah.
And then that's why he asked the woman for water.
I
feel like that's a long walk to go without food and water too, girl. I'd be hungry.
But the thing is, though, they would go around Samaria to avoid it.
Yes.
But this time he went through Samaria. So he did that on purpose.
He definitely did.
I feel like God had
very intentional.
A download, like, go to Samaria. Like, all right, you know, I'm going to go to Samaria now. That was intentional. Very intentional. But I like how you said, Daya, that he met her gently. It wasn't, I'm about to whip you with this Bible like some people do. It was a gentle, let's have a conversation. Let's get you comfortable. Be like, oh, go get your husband. I don't have I know you don't have a husband. Like, whoa, wait a minute. But she was already invested too, I think. And she was already saying, like, I want this water. I think she was probably like, what is this, girl? Boy, what's this water you talking about? Give it to me, you know? But I think I do love the way that he was very calm and cool, and like, I'm not going to make you feel more or less than how you already feel.
He gave her grace.
He gave her what?
Like grace. Like maybe like the grace that she wasn't giving herself. Like he showed her like that she was loved, and like show her grace is how I saw it.
Yeah. And so is there anything else you guys came up with or you guys saw?
Just add a little bit to that.
Yeah.
I just really believe that he like went all the way over there for that woman. Like he knew exactly what, you know, he's all knowing, all powerful. So he knew exactly what he was doing. And I think it goes to show like how much like God loves us and how much he will, you know, pursue and, you know, be patient and loving and to meet us where we're at. And he knows the, you know, the point where we will come to him. I know he knew mine. It's very similar to yours, actually. And I just see that like in the woman, so I can identify with this woman a lot. But he didn't just leave it there. Like he didn't just meet her there and, you know, save her and, you know, provide her with that living water, but also like he used her testimony to reach other people's lives. And today, you know, like it's in the Bible, and we get to learn from her, and we get to also, you know, just be witnesses of God's, you know, glory and just the measures that he will take to bring us back to him. His love more than anything. I think that was one of the biggest things for me.
With the love and the grace, he didn't tell her what to do. He just gave her like what she needed, and then she instantly went back and told everybody. So I feel like, I know I had this conversation Thursday with someone, and they were all about, oh, I gotta do, you know, I gotta do this, and I'm like, what are you doing it for?
Who are you trying to prove it to?
You know, and what are you trying to prove? So it was, I'm doing to be a daughter versus I'm doing it because I'm a daughter. You know? So in her situation, the whole repentance, people, we think about repentance is just to change our actions, to change how we behave, or behavior altercation. But it's really a mind change. That's what repentance is. Because how many times you're like, all right, I'm going to stop doing this. And then all of a sudden we do it again. You know, you didn't have a good reason of why and that belief wasn't there yet. So when you actually have a big conviction, like, this is it, I'm done, I have a change of my mind, then slowly, better example. All right, so I'm going to the gym now. Woo, Jesus. Okay.
Let's go.
And now me going to the gym, I'm like, oh, I'm hungry. Oh, I have oranges. I have chips. I'll do the orange. You know, like that one idea of like, I'm gonna go to the gym. That changed minds. Like, now I want oranges. Now I want apples. Now I want, let me drink some more water versus the juice, So now it's her. Oh, this person has given me what I need. I don't even have to be punished. Let me just go tell people, you know what? I don't need this man no more. I'm about to go make my own, get my own, and da-da-da. Ain't no telling whatever she did. She probably opened up her own business. I don't know, But because without him saying, go and do, or without him saying, go back to that husband or go back to that man or whatever else, she just went on her own and spread the gospel and told everybody he's here. And so I'm pretty sure from now on, because she received that she was important, she was seen, she wasn't judged, and it was very gentle. And these things that we're all like yearning for, it's like, okay, I'm going to do it now without any questions, without feeling bad about what happened in the past.
Yeah. I feel like kind of going back to what you were saying about Jesus definitely like went there for that woman. He was very intentional, and being intentional is so important because so many stories, almost every story in the Bible is how intentional Jesus is. And then it goes back to her is Jesus was very intentional with her, and unintentionally she became intentional as well. Like, she went back and she spread the word unintentionally, but she was very intentional with it because it said that Jesus stayed in that city for 2 days. Yeah. And talked to the people, and without her running and going to tell these people about how like happy she was, like, oh, I just met the Messiah and all this, she was unintentionally intentional because who knows how many people got saved just because she ran back to the city and told everyone.
But he told the least. He didn't go and find somebody who was a king or a politician or someone who was very well known. He went and found someone who had identity issues and used them to spread the word. And she's a woman. So Period.
She was ready.
What do you say it? Wait, is it this or is it this? Oh.
She was ready. She was ready to hear it. And I caught that, like the tone of her voice. She's like, what is this water? And it starts with that, like that there's a void and there's like a curiosity. That's how it happened to me as well. Well, what is this? God. And, you see light in people's eyes. You see, good things. And you just wonder, like, there's got to be more. And so she was ready for that. So when, he arrived, her heart was already ready to receive it, even if there was a little bit of, maybe some attitude in the beginning.
I think she had attitude the whole time.
Yeah.
Really?
I do.
But it was like this, like just...
I feel like she had attitude the whole time.
Yeah.
So I kind of agree with what you're saying. She definitely had an attitude in the beginning, because I wrote this on my notes of like a question. So when Jesus called her out by being with these men, she changes the subject.
Of course she did.
Of course she did, because like she was in the light. And do we not do the same when someone calls you out, like, girl, you didn't go to the gym today. Okay, but like I had this. Like, you want to change the subject, or you want to give an excuse because you don't like feeling uncomfortable. But she changed the subject. But then later on, she's like, okay, what is this living water? Like, I don't want to be thirsty anymore. So she was definitely, I feel like she had an attitude at first and she was closed off because she was trying to change the subject. But then later on, when the conversation when the conversation kept going, she was more like opening up and more intrigued on what this water is. Although at first she did start with the attitude. And I feel like, I don't know for you guys, but I'm the same exact way. Like, I don't want to be uncomfortable. Like, why are you calling me out right now? But then once the conversation goes on, then you kind of open up more with yourself and like trying to keep yourself more accountable as well. So, yeah.
So I'm looking at it again, and I'm looking at Okay, no. Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I just want to go back. I just wanted to go back and look at the conversation again. But I do think that she had attitude, and then she did change the subject. But I think that she didn't necessarily change the subject. She was defending herself. Be like, well, are you a prophet? Like, and she kept calling him sir. Like,
yeah.
Sir.
She didn't know who she was, but she definitely had attitude when she said the sir, for sure.
Let me see.
You know, something that did come to mind, it was also like fighting like the parts of her identity.
Yeah.
Right? It was like that internal, but it was out loud. And so I think that also happens. It's like, you know, when God is chasing after us, it's like, could this be? And like, what is this? But I believe in all these things. You know, there's a culture. The culture was very big for her. You know, her past. Those kind of were the three things that I did make note of: her culture, her past, you know, relationships, all that. And then her vision, her faith, her outlook. So questioning, you know, are you a prophet? You know, there was like that knowing and like yearning for like answers in that aspect of her life. So it was just like an internal, you know, dialogue, but out loud with Jesus is what I noticed.
I feel like it was a challenge too. You know, when I said earlier, I think she had an attitude. I think she had an attitude up until when he told her about herself, the wives, her husbands and stuff. That's when it was like
how do you know?
Yeah.
Like, how do you know my business?
Yeah. Who told you this? No, but no one kept talking. He's a whole Jew. Like, you just came into town. I think that's what I was going to say earlier. I think that she had an attitude all the way up until then. And then when he revealed it, she switched the subject, like defending herself. But then when he started really telling her about the worship in spirit and in truth, because he told her that she didn't even know what she was worshiping. He's like, you guys don't even know what you're worshiping, but the Jews do. The Jews know they're worshiping God. The Samaritans don't know who you're worshiping. So later on, now here he comes and say, I'm the Messiah. You see, because she was really, the questions she was asking, I do agree that she was looking, but I think it was also a challenge at the same time, because like, ain't no way you should know all this stuff. There's no way. Who are you really, sir? Like, you know, you are Jew, so why are you here telling me these things, sir? Like, you know, like she wants to be upset. But then he said like, well, in future, we'll worship him in spirit and truth. And in verse 25, she was like, yeah, but the Messiah is coming, who is known to Christ, and he's going to tell us things. So she had an idea about what was going on, what was happening, that was told and taught to her. And then when he hit her with the mic drop, oh yeah, that's me.
Guess what?
That's me. Is like, oh, wait a minute, what? But then next verse, this is when the apostles come in. And they're like, why are you talking to her? I feel like she heard them when they asked that question. Like, why are you talking to her? Because in the next verse, it says, then the woman left. She left the water and then went into the city. So I wonder, like, what was I heard what you said, but I also saw what you did. And his interaction probably was still the same of like, no, I'm talking to her. You know, they saw her something a different way, and he didn't jump up and was like, no, I'm not talking to her, or like he was still the same. And then when she really saw it, oh, he the real. Let me go tell some people. Oh, he the real deal. This is you really are the Messiah. Because if you weren't, you would have definitely
reacted differently.
Switched up, reacted differently, defended yourself, and been on their side.
The revelation.
For sure.
Yeah. And she's a woman.
And she's
a woman. Out here preaching the word.
I just know when he was like, I, the one speaking to you, I am he. I just know she was like, like, no way. Like,
yeah.
Like, because she definitely said, like, I know the Messiah is coming. When he comes, he will explain everything to us. And then he was like, yeah, that's me. Like, I'm here explaining. I'm here to explain to you. And then he stayed for 2 days. I just know that she was like, like what?
Her whole life changed.
Yeah, for sure.
And I like how you said, Dahlia, the different ways you see her dialogue, her thinking out loud, and then the different places of her identity is shifting throughout the time. So I love it.
It's very personable. Like, God's like that. And it's gentle. And I'm sure, down the line, it's not here, but then, he went into healing like every single, aspect of her life. But this is just very like, you just need like to, for one, acknowledge it, like surface level, this is what it is. And then he'll take care of the rest later on. But I think it's just a start.
Yeah, just like a little shove.
Naming it too.
I feel like he planted he planted that seed in her heart and like changed her identity into focusing in Christ. That after that, like he did so much more for her throughout her life. But he planted that seed and changed her heart.
Yeah, I definitely agree with what you're saying, because later on it talks about harvesting and sowing into what you reap. And he definitely planted that seed in her. And then later on, I see it as a way of someone sowed into me. So that's why I'm the believer that I am today. And then I can sow into someone else. And then all of us are going to reap the benefits because we're going to see God's kingdom one day. So we're all sowing into each other to reap God's kingdom. So he's planted that seed so long ago, and then look at us today.
Yeah.
Still talking about this story.
Yeah.
Still relating to this story. So that one seed saved billions of people's lives. And we're all going to see each other in God's kingdom one day. So we're all going to reap the benefits from this one seed he planted in a woman that everybody else deemed unworthy.
I feel like, but we're reaping the benefits now.
Yeah.
Because he says that we're planting and reaping at the same time. So I heard someone else say this, we all have our fruits that we bear, but the fruits that you bear are not for you. They're for other people. So this is why we definitely need each other. The Bible tells us to not forsake the assembly. It doesn't necessarily talk about like you got to go to church every Sunday, but the moment you start not being around other believers in your family, you start to now listen to other things. And that's when Satan really got you now, because you don't no longer have the fruits that you need. Because I think everybody's bearing fruit. It's just like, what type of fruit are you bearing? And what are you eating? Because if it's not of God,
it's of the world.
Yeah. And now that's going to feed you. And now you're going to start noticing your attitude and everything about you changing. But as far as the planting and reaping, we're always planting and someone's always reaping from us. So that makes me think like, let me make sure I'm good to go.
Let me make sure my fruit is good.
Yeah,
because...
No, hold up. It's because I put question mark here. I was like, verse 38, question mark, exclamation point, because I had a question about it, because necessarily sure how it tied into the story. So, I mean, that was God right now. You answered it. I never asked it. But literally, look right there in my note. Verse 38, please explain why this ties into it. What does that mean? And so that's why I'm like, hold up. I got it. Yeah, that's beautiful. Beautiful. Anyway.
But any closing remarks? This was really good.
I think this was good. I think this was good. We had good flow of conversation, but I like how we kind of got the same thing, but then we also had different points of views on it as well. And how I learned just by talking about it with you guys than just doing Bible study alone.
Yeah.
So,
Shoot, y'all taught me some stuff too. I'm like, I didn't think about it like that. Okay.
Yeah, it's a different perspective. So it's I didn't think about it the way that you explained it. So I'm like, oh, okay. I'm more open to the story that way, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I mean, his word is living, right?
Yes.
And so it just goes to show, we can read, one sentence and another person will read the same, verse and get something completely different. And, I might read it right now and then read it tomorrow or later today, and I'll get something completely different. So I think that speaks volumes, again, of the living word and what that means. And I just think that I identified a lot with this woman. So it also helped me see myself through God's lens as well.
Yeah.
Which is beautiful, but I got a lot from it as well.
Yeah. You have anything? No. Okay. No worries. Well, this is good. Thank you guys for coming, for saying yes. This is the first time we've done this, and we're gonna do it again, of course. All right. So, let's end with a good prayer. So I'm gonna pray it out, and then the episode is yours. So let's pray it out. So, Heavenly Father, thank you so much for all your many blessings. Thank you for the things you've done for us in the past, even through this woman. You've done so much for us in the past through the people that we read about in your word. So thank you for planting those seeds. Thank you for approaching her. Thank you for bringing up some issues that she had. And I'm glad that John wrote it down. Okay, so thank you, John, for doing that. So now that we can read it today, thank you for the present, that we're reaping the harvest of those people. And just thank you for the future, because what we are doing here today is going to bear fruit for people ahead of us. And even today, we were able to reap and bear fruit and harvest from each other. So just thank you so much for this lesson. Thank you for this dialogue. Thank you for these women. Just thank you for what's to come. And thank you for the viewers, people who are watching this today, and the blessings that they're going to get from this. And I already know it's going to be so many new conversations and new revelations for each and every one of them. So I just thank you in advance. And I just praise your name, and I ask for just continue to be a great God. In your name I pray now and forever. Amen. Yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for showing up and being with us. This was a great conversation. If you guys have comments, concerns, questions, whatever, put them in the DMs, put them in the comments. And until next time, you guys have an amazing day. Bye.